every turn, there are hideous monsters.
Don't be fooled. These are killers.
And hired guns, wreaking unimaginable horror.
Inject a flesh-eating saliva into that hole and suck out the liquefied innards.
In the terrifying world of monster bugs, you step carefully, or it's the last move you make. In the cruel bug kingdom, some killers camouflage themselves. Others survive on pure speed or brute force. When a moss mantis clashes with a tiger beetle, two worlds collide. On the moss-covered branches of a South American rainforest, a specter haunts, ruthless, cunning, hidden. The moss mantis is a master concealer. Tiny tufts, resembling lichen, cover the mantis' body, breaking up its silhouette. It doesn't just look like moss. It behaves like moss.
The moss mantis is so adept at impersonating moss that it'll hang down under the branches as well, even swaying side to side like a little bit of moss in the breeze. Talk about an evil genius.
You may not see it, but it sees you. With super-sensitive eyes, mottled and horned, to blend into the background.
These two large compound eyes give the mantis excellent depth perception, a very wide field of view, and they can even detect motion up to 60 feet away.
The instant it senses movement, the mantis deploys ingenious range-finding equipment on its neck.
Mantis have a series of very fine hairs on the back of their neck that are in constant contact with the head. So as the head turns to look at a prey, the hairs also move, and this tells them exactly what direction to launch their raptorial strike. It's so accurate that 85% of the strikes are successful.
In strike mode, the moss mantis lulls victims into complacency. It looks as harmless as any other part of the mossy forest. But when it goes on the attack, the moss mantis becomes a slick killing machine. Its huge limbs launch it through the air in search of prey. A wolf spider, prowling for food, doesn't realize it's on the menu.
When a mantis snatches its prey, the entire strike only takes 30 to 50 milliseconds. That's 3 or 4 times faster than a human muscle reflex, or about 10% how long it takes for me to blink my eyes.
Raptorial legs open like switchblades, revealing large spikes that hook the prey and drag it to the waiting mouth. Mandibles, sharp enough to slice through the toughest bug armor like a can opener, make short work of soft spider flesh. When the meal is over, the master of disguise lies in wait for another victim. But not every bug worries about camouflage or clever tactics. Flashy and fast, tiger beetles take other bugs head on.
Tiger beetles are fast animals. They run after prey, they grab it, they tear it to pieces, they eat it fast and go off running again.
With iridescent shells, metallic sheen, and blinding speed, ground-hugging tiger beetles are like Formula One cars on legs. They hold the land speed record for bugs, beetling along at an incredible 50 body lengths per second.
If this was a human running equivalently fast, this would be 480 miles an hour. This is amazingly fast.
But when the tiger steps on the gas, something strange happens. Its eyes can't keep up.
They move so fast, their brain can't process how fast they're moving. So they literally go blind while they're running.
The tiger beetle's speed is matched only by its savagery. Enormous serrated mandibles tear the victim to pieces.
Tiger beetles have these massive jaws. They're equivalent to 10% of the body length of the animal. They're these huge sickle-like shears. It's equivalent to humans having 8-inch teeth.
Those jaws cut and mash, squeezing fluids from prey, leaving behind an unrecognizable pulp. But the tiger beetle's hectic pace requires a constant supply of fuel.
Tiger beetles need to eat a lot all of the time in order to maintain their energy to run so fast.
That puts it on a collision course with the moss mantis. What happens when the fast and the furious runs into the ghost who stalks?
If the mantis doesn't get in a good first shot, the tiger beetle could really hurt it.
In the mossy reaches of a South American rainforest, a voracious tiger beetle is on its never-ending quest for food. Nearby, a moss mantis watches, poised to strike. The moss mantis attacks with lethal limbs and savage mouthparts. The tiger beetle combines speed with crushing, slicing mandibles. Who will inflict the mortal blow? The mantid must choose its moment with military precision. Because the tiger beetle can sever entire limbs with a single bite.
Its jaws are big enough that it could tear the legs off this mantid. It could break the mantid in half.
The beetle waits for telltale movement.
Tiger beetles are visual predators. They're moving and they're looking for movement in the environment, and that's what they're tracking. The problem is when they come up against this mantis, the mantis isn't moving around.
The mantis doesn't stay motionless for long. In less time than it takes to blink, switchblade arms snatch the tiger beetle. The mantid spins its foe around, keeping the beetle's deadly mandibles at a safe distance. All the while, the mantid's jaws wreak havoc.
The mantis's mandibles might be small, but they can cut through just about any bug's armor.
Defenseless, the tiger beetle has nowhere to run.
Speed isn't everything. Sometimes the animals that just stay very still and then attack very rapidly are really the winners.
In the bug world, it isn't always survival of the fastest. When a horned katydid and an owl butterfly caterpillar lock horns, there's no happily ever after. The jungle underworld is full of bizarre beasts. With its forked tail, spiked back, and hairy horns, the owl butterfly caterpillar is like a mythical creature.
It just looks like some kind of weird snake or slug, and its entire existence revolves around one thing: eating, and eating a lot.
While gorging on leaves, it must avoid becoming a banquet for something else. Its main defense is its terrifying appearance.
If a predator comes along, he'll do everything he can to look more like a viper than a caterpillar. Puff himself up, act strangely, pull threatening poses, even swipe with his horns.
The horns are hard and can be used like antlers in battle. And the owl butterfly caterpillar's mandibles can do more than mulch.
Push comes to shove, he will use them to try to fend off an aggressor.
The owl butterfly caterpillar isn't the only horned beast on the prowl. With its distinctive crowning glory, the horned katydid resembles the fabled unicorn.
The horned katydids have this weird projection coming out just behind their eyes. They may look cute, but these are predatory katydids.
The horned katydid is a ruthless assassin, able to hide in plain sight.
Often they'll look like just this perfect green leaf. Even the veins in their wings look like the veins in a leaf. Potential prey may be walking along and they don't notice that this leaf, in fact, is a predator, and that's to their peril.
The horn is there to intimidate. But the real danger are these mandibles. Sharp enough to skewer heavily armored opponents. Then spiked legs, vicious enough to rip through a predatory bat's wings. It's a foe that's as lethal as it is mean.
They're serious predators that attack animals and eat them alive. These spiny forelegs are used kind of like a cage. The spines keep the prey close to the katydid, and then it's able to bite it and tear it into pieces.
This killer doesn't wait for its prey to die. It's just meat and eat. But what happens when the katydid locks horns with the owl butterfly caterpillar? It's the dead of night in the jungle. A horned katydid is looking for fresh meat. On a nearby leaf, an owl butterfly caterpillar is also out to feed. The katydid's antennae lock on. It will attack with bolt-cutter mouthparts and thorny limbs. The owl butterfly caterpillar will retaliate with its spiked horns and bristling tail. Who will inflict the mortal blow? The two opponents go head-to-head. The owl butterfly caterpillar tries to psych out its opponent with a bizarre defensive dance. The katydid is momentarily stunned. It wasn't expecting them and a show.
The whole point of wiggling about like a snake is to send out a fake but believable signal that I'm toxic, I will bite you, leave me alone.
to twist free, it lashes with its forked tail, desperately trying to get in a bite. Soft tissue splits like the skin of a sausage, spilling the remains of the caterpillar's last meal. This big bad bug never eats its greens.
Often what they'll do is they'll pull the guts out to avoid the nasty chemicals that are in the plant that the caterpillar ate, and they're able to eat the relatively succulent caterpillar itself.
Even disemboweled, the caterpillar tries to bite its attacker. In the end, the owl butterfly caterpillar achieves a sort of metamorphosis. A gruesome transformation from potential butterfly to unrecognizable meat. Some monster bug wars are a battle of wits and strategy. Other conflicts are won with brute strength and power. When an ogre-faced spider and an army ant soldier face off, it's brains versus brawn. In the bug world, take nothing for granted. Shape-shifting assassins can appear anywhere. With long, spindly legs and an elongated body, the ogre-faced spider does a perfect twig impression.
During the day, when the ogre-faced spider isn't actually hunting, they hang in the grass. They have their legs extended, so they look like a twig or grass, and they're trying to avoid looking like something that's edible.
Camouflage isn't the spider's only weapon. When night falls, the ambush predator starts knitting.
The ogre-faced spider has something that's absolutely unique in the animal kingdom. They build a web that they literally throw over their prey. This web is almost like a gladiator throwing out a net and capturing its prey.
Hanging upside down in midair, tiny claws clinging to silken guy ropes. The ogre-faced spider waits, ready to spread her deadly picnic blanket. The ogre's eyesight can pinpoint almost any target, even in darkness. 2 of its 8 eyes are like night vision goggles, giving this nocturnal hunter better night vision than even owls or cats. Nearby, an army is on the march. Nomadic, carnivorous, voracious. An army ant colony is a terrifying force. Within this deadly swarm, the most powerful of all are the soldiers. These special ops bugs are bred for war.
Army ant swarms are giant, precisely coordinated military machines. And the soldier ants are its attack dogs, except in ant terms, they're about the size of horses.
Soldier ants are built for attack. Large heads support the biggest mandibles in the ant world. Curved like fish hooks, with razor-sharp points. They spear and crush. At the other end, a needle-like sting delivers paralyzing venom and repeated stabs.
The army ant sting is very potent, but it isn't used all the time. Often just the mandibles are enough for the bullying business. But if an opponent fights back, then the stinger is used like a taser set to kill.
Even alone, army ant soldiers are fierce opponents. This giant ground spider seems like an invincible foe. But the army ant soldier has superior one-on-one tactics. It latches onto the back of the spider's abdomen.
The muscles in the soldier's head are so strong, it's almost impossible to get those jaws open once they've clamped down on something. The soldier ant can even be torn in half, and he won't let go.
The spider tries to dislodge its opponent, but its fangs can't reach back far enough. The ant stinger's toxic venom paralyzes the spider's muscles and nerves. It's a great meal for the colony. But what happens when the lone warrior confronts the master netcaster?
Other predators are understandably hesitant to mess with an army ant soldier. This ogre-faced spider is more than willing to entangle.
On the rainforest floor, a lost army ant soldier trying to find its battalion strays into the drop zone of an ogre-faced spider. The spider attacks with its gladiatorial net and toxic venom. The army ant fights with its terrifying mandibles and paralyzing sting. Who will emerge the victor? The soldier ant wanders into dangerous territory. The spider's huge eyes are trained on the approaching target. The net first scoops up the huge mandibles, disabling the ant's primary weapon. But a soldier ant isn't any bug. It's special ops. There'll be no surrender.
This army ant has strong sickle-like jaws. It's got a powerful sting. It could do real damage to the ogre-faced spider.
Despite being wrapped up, the army ant can still land a lethal sting. It waits for its opportunity. The spider, too, is choosing its moment. It takes a chance. One bite through the silk sends venom coursing through the ant's body. This soldier's fighting days are over. Its innards are turned to mush and sucked out. All that's left is a shrink-wrapped shell. One more casualty in a never-ending bug war. In the bug world, it's always high noon. The good, the bad, and the ugly ride roughshod over their victims. When a red-thighed wandering spider and a black-tailed scorpion shoot it out, one of them is bound for Boot Hill. With tough body armor and a lethal back end, the black-tailed scorpion is a force to be reckoned with.
The blacktail is a pretty large scorpion. It can grow to almost 5 inches in length. It can prey on a large variety of insects and other arthropods, even other scorpions.
2 sharp claws near its mouth pull prey apart and fork it in. Despite poor eyesight, the blacktail is an excellent hunter, using sensory organs called pectines to home in on its next kill.
These are movable comb-like appendages lined with rows of tiny pegs that are very sensitive to chemical and mechanical stimuli. They're totally unique to scorpions, and they sweep them across whatever surface they're walking on to navigate, find a mate, and of course, locate and track prey.
When it locates its target, the scorpion is deadly accurate.
The telson, or stinger, is like an armor-piercing bullet, and the gun that delivers it is the scorpion's tail. When it gets in a clean, swift shot, it drives it straight into the prey's body, delivering the payload, which is venom, and the result is dinner.
Meanwhile, another mean hombre steps out for its evening hunt. The red-thighed wandering spider is a rainforest drifter, a dangerous loner who hunts under the cover of darkness.
These are one of the few spiders that instead of backing off when it's nervous about you approaching, tends to come forward. These are scary spiders.
The vivid red on its legs is like war paint, a warning to predators to back off. When it attacks, it's super swift, amazingly agile.
At the tips of their feet, they have thousands of small hairs, and the hair tufts act almost like suction cups, which means that they can walk upside down without a whole lot of problems.
The wandering spider has excellent eyesight. It's also a tactile hunter. Fine sensory hairs detect the faintest vibrations from its soon-to-be victims.
These hairs are known as trichobothria, very sensitive to airborne vibration.
This large katydid is an accomplished killer, but when it puts the wrong foot forward, it doesn't even have time to draw. Huge fangs inject a potent neurotoxin that shuts down the katydid's internal organs. The red thigh ropes its prey with a silk lariat.
They will move around this katydid, trailing a line of silk. And what this line of silk does is it's a simple form of prey wrapping. It's helping tie the katydid onto the tree or onto the vegetation, so it's much less likely to fall off.
Hog-tied, the katydid is devoured. Meanwhile, the black-tailed scorpion is on the prowl. In the inevitable shootout, which one will be left standing?
The scorpion has just one advantage here, and that's weapons on both ends of the body. But I reckon this is too close to call.
It's high moon in the jungle. 2 gunslingers are out on the prowl. And on this branch of Main Street, there's only room for one. The red-thighed wandering spider attacks with massive fangs and killer venom. The black-tailed scorpion strikes with its lethal stinger and vicious pincers. Who will land the lethal blow? The red thigh makes the first move. It approaches cautiously, low, outstretched, poised to strike. The blacktail doesn't flinch. It'll be the quick or the dead. spider only escapes by sacrificing its own leg.
The spider has a predetermined juncture where it can lose a leg, and it's got sphincters that close it off so the spider doesn't bleed to death.
The red fly licks its wounds. The scorpion now has a taste for red meat.
The wandering spider's leg is a nice appetizer, but the blacktail knows there's a lot more flesh where that came from. He's going to keep hunting it until he gets the full banquet.
The black-tailed scorpion makes its next move.
Grab the prey with a pincher, hold it out at a distance so it can't strike back, and then deliver the venom at a point-blank range. That's a textbook hit. As the venom flows through the spider's body, it shuts down system after system. In fact, it's so fast, it produces an almost instantaneous meltdown.
Another outlaw bites the dust. The scorpion feeds at its leisure. Its two claw-like mouthparts tear off pieces of spider flesh. They're pulled into a pre-oral cavity to be liquefied. It might take hours, but the scorpion will dispose of its victim, skin and all.
Bug wars rarely end in a dignified way, but by the time the blacktail is done mashing up the spider, not even its mother will think it has a pretty face.
In the bug world, beauty and horror will always be partners. The bug realm is a slaughterhouse. With butchers on every blade of grass, no one is safe. When a flame-bellied orb weaver and a Longicorn beetle bring out the blades, there will be blood. Like a nightmare from a horror show, the Longicorn beetle is like a flying chainsaw.
In Costa Rica, there's a widespread myth that they can saw a branch off a tree just by hooking on with their jaws and flying in a circle.
The Longicorn beetle is built like a ground-to-air wood chopping machine. Body and wings are protected by heavy armor. Two grappling hooks on each foot help it cling to trees. Even the antennae are thick and tough.
The antennas serve as sensors for smelling, for contact chemoreception. Another notable feature of the antenna are their length. This is not something that a predator would want to have to deal with while also having to fend off those powerful jaws.
Those jaws are like razor-sharp axes, able to shear straight through timber.
They're very powerful and could crush another animal in a heartbeat or tear it clean in half.
The Longicorn beetle prefers its diet of wood, but it won't shrink from fighting the most vicious predators. One of them is a neighboring flame-bellied orb beetle. It sits and waits. A patient executioner, wearing its orange markings like team colors.
This is just a tough, aggressive orb weaver that's able to capture big things that come into the web, get in there, bite it, and wrap it.
This mobile attacker has multiple eyes. But it's those extra sensitive feet that turn the web into long-range radar.
By building this orb web, it's able to extend its sensory system and feel vibrations from around it from quite a large distance.
When a cricket wanders in, there's no mistaking the dinner bell.
It grabs the prey and starts swathing it with silk. And then as soon as it's safe, it'll get in there and bite.
The flame-bellied orb weaver injects its powerful neurotoxins. The cricket is soon paralyzed and devoured. But will the victory come quite so easily when the armored woodcutter tangles with a high-wire hitman? In the forest, a wood-eating Longicorn beetle flits from tree to tree, gorging on bark. Nearby, a flame-bellied orb weaver is primed to strike. The flame-bellied orb weaver has super sticky silk and potent venom. The Longicorn beetle has size and strength with heavy body armor and shredding mandibles. Who will survive? The beetle has fed well tonight, perhaps too well. Heading homeward, its concentration lapses. And it's snared in the orb weaver's trap. In a frenzy, the flame belly throws silk bandages around its victim.
This is now a battle between silk and scissors. The beetle's only chance of survival is to use those mandibles to cut through the web before the spider has a chance to deliver a bite.
The spider must work fast. One wrong move, and the Longicorn's timber-tearing jaws could sever a leg, even chop its opponent in half.
This beetle has these big jaws, and it's struggling hard. The spider knows that it's potentially a really dangerous opponent.
The flame-bellied spinnerets work overtime. She circles the larger beetle, rapping constantly. In a last-ditch effort, the beetle pierces the silken death shroud with its mandibles. But the spider keeps a safe distance.
These guys might munch through bark like it's butter, but when you're wrapped up in one of the world's strongest spider silks and you're under attack, getting that chainsaw fired up and into action is no easy proposition.
For the Longicorn beetle, time is fast running out. And predator and prey are locked together in a spiral dance of death. The spider probes for a cheek to rock. Delivers a toxic bite and retreats to the middle of the web, confident that its venom will do the rest. All that remains is for the flame-bellied orb weaver to haul its dinner up and feast. The airborne woodcutter has taken its last flight. In a bug war, savagery doesn't always trump strategy. Elaborate defenses don't fool a determined fighter. Blind bravery is no match for refined weaponry. And in no substitute for speed and reach.